This video is going to be split into two parts. First part being recording the frag movies and the green screening, as well as editing and exporting. Second part of the video will be editing and recording the cinematics, which will be quite important if you want to make some nice frag movies. There will be two links in the description taking you to two separate websites to download HLAE and VirtualDub, so go to those. You'll see that this page will pop up. You want to go and click on the link that is highlighted in the green box and download either a zip or an exe depending on your preference. Second link will take you to VirtualDub. Go to the VirtualDub download, so I click on that and it will take you to a download page on SourceForge. Okay, I don't actually want to download that. So once you've got those, this should come in a package. I'm not going to show you what exactly, but yeah, you just find this directory and make a shortcut. So that can go to the side for now, and extract this file. So click and extract and you'll get this. Now scroll down to the bottom, click on HLAE, launch Csgo. Mine is all set to default settings because I've just previously used it. Okay, so if you don't know where your Csgo directory is, you're going to want to locate your Steam folder. Now mine is on a separate hard drive because I've got so many games. Okay, so find the Steam library. Locate Csgo and click the Csgo icon. Now this should be clicked to enable. If you don't have this enabled, you won't be able to do advanced movie config and have all sorts of key bindings. So set it to somewhere, I don't know, wherever, and yeah, just enable that. Now for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to put it to 720p just because I don't want the rendering and exporting recording to take forever. So yeah, that's just that. Before we actually start, why did I close that? We're going to need that. So you want to go to where you set the CFG folder. Okay, just copy that real quick. And this is where you're going to implement all of the config files. Now I have a config file here which I made for you guys and myself, and it just has a bunch of keybinds. So if you just open that up, what do you have? You've got all of these keybinds, and yeah, it just makes your life so much easier when it comes to sorting out keyframes and putting in effects, and mainly just for doing the cinematics. So find this file, download it from the link in the description. Okay, so you're going to want to just paste it in this directory, like so. Close that, and what you can now do is just launch Csgo. So now we're in the chosen clip which you guys want to record. So what you're going to want to do is press Shift F2 to get this panel up and down, so yeah. And you'll want to locate your player. Now my player is here. I'm going to set it to quarter speed just so it's easy to manage and load. Okay, there we go. So go up to the part where you want to start the recording of your clip. Alright, it's a bit slow for me actually. Okay, here's a good place. Right, so this part you're going to want to open the console and take notice of your tick here. You'll probably want to write this down, so I'm just going to put it in the chat. Actually, I don't need to, but for you guys, if you want to refer back to the tick number, just refer to this, write it down somewhere, and if you want to go back to the part where your thing starts, just use the command demo_go to tick, and then the tick number. Right, so this is going to be a little bit long-winded. You're going to have to do this every time. It is a long process, and it does require a bit of patience. So what you're going to do is type in the first command, which will allow you to actually do the movie making commands, which will be exec afx / updateworkaround. And yeah, just press enter and this should come up. Right, so why is that there? Go away. Okay, so the next one you're going to want to do is to remove the HUD, which will be co_draw only death notices 1. That removes everything. And next is to view the print layers that you are actually going to have. So this will create the 4 separated layers, including the green screen, which will be really important. So you want to type in merv_streams print, and I can't type. Now you'll have these 4 by default. If you're a bit more advanced and technical, you can add custom preview layers, which for the purpose of this video is really not necessary, to be honest. So for example, you wanted to remove one of these layers, you would type in merv_streams remove, and then the name, which is cap sensitive, of the layer that you want to remove. So I'm going to remove myDepth. And to check that it's actually gone, just do merv_streams print again, and you'll see you only have 3 applicable layers which will be recorded. Now, to get started, you want to set the frame rate of the video. Depending on what type of edit you're doing, say, I don't know, highlights video. A highlights video, you won't really require that much frames. It's just really not needed, to be honest, because highlights are quite long and the file size would be ridiculous. So highlights usually use around 80 to 160, maybe 200 frames per second. So I don't know, more technical and frag movie type edits use about 300 to 400 frames. I use 400 frames per second in most of my edits, even though I've made like 4. I've made loads, but I just never upload them, and I just don't want to be honest. But yeah, there is one coming soon. So yeah, for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to use 120 frames per second. So you want to do host, again, I can't type, something wrong with me, host_frame rate, and set that to whatever you desire, 120. If you use 60 frames per second on this, you are a pleb, end of. Now next you want to set the timescale, yep, to 0. This actually allows you to edit it in key and allows the frame rate to, you know, kick in. Now next, if you guys want to do highlight videos and record the sound of the gameplay, you're going to want to type in this command, merv_snd timescale 1. This will create a separate audio track in the file directory, which would be pretty useful, to be honest. Okay, so just press enter. Now, for the FOV, you do FOV_CS_debug100. This just allows you to, I don't know, change the FOV of your character. Now, put in whatever value you desire. You can experiment with it. I don't know what it's set to default, but I use 100 in all of my clips just because it makes it look better, to be honest, and it's just nice. So yeah, this is just default for me. I mean, you can do 60 if that's too much. Oh no, you don't want to do 60. Say 120. Ooh, 120 is really, really scratchy. Right, so 100 is probably the sweet spot, that's why I used it. Now, the most important bit, if you actually want to record these and have some files to actually mess around with, you will want to set up a place where this is all going to get dumped. Now, disclaimer, the file sizes are going to be astronomical. They're just really, really big. You can check with the tool calculator on file size. Say, I don't know, 1280 by 720. FPS, 120. Duration, it's probably going to be like, I don't know, 10-second clip. They will be 3 GB each, so it will total to 9 GB. So yeah, it's just going to be huge. That's also why I like this, it's got loads of cool things. Right, so to set it up, you're going to want to type in merv_streams record name, and then speech mark here open, and then the destination name. So I've got my destination set on my off hard drive. Okay, so you click on that, copy, and go back to your console where you will type it in or just paste it in, and then you will close it with closed speech or quotation marks, whatever. Press enter, and there we go. If you've done this wrong, it will come up with a bunch of red text saying error, 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 and you'll probably have a heart attack. Right, now that you're ready to actually record, you are going to want to type in this, not end, start. Right, so merv_streams record start. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't really understand, you're a bit of a pleb. Right, so press enter when you're ready to record. You can, oh no, that's not good. Okay, so you can come out of that, press resume, and voila, it is recording only the 3 layers which I said. Perfect. It's coming up to the end of the frag. and when it's near the end, which is here, you can paste in the merv record streams, right, merv streams record end. That's it, get it the right way around. Press enter and pause. That's it, that's all you need to do. That's basically it for recording the actual layers, and now we're just going to move on to exporting and editing. So this software has its own little error just set by default, where if you have a smoke you can literally just see the player straight through it. I mean, that defeats the purpose of having a smoke screen, to be honest, but yeah. To fix that, what you're going to want to type in is this long spangly thing here. If I can just get it up, just copying and pasting it because it's actually quite long, is this merv streams edit myMatte otherParticleAction draw. Now press enter, so whenever you have a clip involving smokes, you won't see the player and it will literally just work out fine. And lastly, for those who want to record the actual HD, including the scope, zoom and the depth notices, what you want to do is type in this one as well. Everything will be up on screen again as usual and down in the description. So merv streams edit myMatte draw -1. Okay, so now you can just record and it will come up with the black ring blah 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 as if you're actually scoped in on a sniper. So that's basically it. So you've got your recorded clips. Glad you guys made it this far. No errors. If so, just drop a comment in the description or try and resolve it yourself. So you're going to want to use VirtualDub. This converts the pictures. It's literally frames and frames upon frames of pictures. AVI format? No, it's not AVI. I can't remember. TGA. It's just a bunch of shitty TGAs in a sequence. Now, if you want to edit specific frames in After Effects, by all means just slap this in all in one go, but I really would not recommend it. The loading time will just be really slow, and unless you've got a server beast or some sort of editing monster, it's just not going to go down well. So this is where VirtualDub comes in handy. So you're going to want to load it. You'll be met by this very, very basic and bland interface, but I can assure you it's probably one of the most useful tools when it comes to actually doing CSGO editing. Right, so go to File, go to Open, and locate where you dumped that heap of crap called your frag. And let's start with the depth world. There you go. 1280, kind of rubbish. Right, so you can just play through here. Okay. Just make sure it's all recorded perfectly. Now if you want to snip it just a little bit of the frame off, say you over recorded and there's too much in there, or you just want to cut it down and make the file size ever so slightly smaller, grab this, go to the frame that you want to start at, and you press this little key here. Okay, so that indicates the start of the frame and the start of the actual recording process. Okay, and you'll want to close that by going to the end. So, wait, did I actually? Yeah, okay, right. So you'll just want to do that and press close. Now it's important that you remember what frame rate you recorded this as, so you're going to want to go up to this tab here, video, frame rate, go to change frame rate, and type in the frame that you set it as in CSGO. Now press OK, and that's more or less it, to be honest. So go to File, save as AVI in the video format, which is what we'll be exporting to After Effects. Save the file destination, set it to what you want. I'm just going to call it 1. Now you can set the priority of this, check all this bollocks out, but yeah, that's about it. And that's all you have to do. You have to do this 3 times or however many times you need to, and yeah, it's a long process, so just bear in mind that you'll probably want to do something else to, you know, save your sanity. Okay, so just quickly, after you've finished sorting out and converting all of the TGAs to AVIs, you're going to want to go to After Effects, load up the files, and you'll be met with the layers that you recorded. The depth, which you can use for blurring, the green screen, and the world layer. Right, so just disable that for now. Go onto the green screen layer and search for your plugin Key Light 1.2. Click the dropper, click on the green, and voila. That's about it. Now, there are 2 methods for doing the blur or depth of field effect. The first method, you would literally just create an adjustment layer, go to your plugins and type in FL depth. Now, I'm sure most of you guys will have it, but for some reason I think they might have taken it out of CC 2020, or that I just might have accidentally deleted it when installing my plugins. Now, I don't have that, and I'm having to resort to another method which I think is probably better because it's a lot more accurate and you have more control over it. What you'll need to do is go to the world layer, duplicate that, and yeah, that's about it. So you want to go onto the toggle switch mode right at the bottom here and make sure that you have this here. So click the drop down and set it to Luma inverted. This top layer, you're going to want to add levels. The importance of this is actually controls the depth. So you see the white in this, that is going to be the depth, and the black will literally be the foreground. So you want to make it so the depth is more distant and more lifelike, so make the whites kind of strong and separated from the blacks. Okay, that sounds so sketch. Okay, so do that, bring it up like that. You should have something like this. You can mess around with it if you want it to be quite blurry. Just make sure the whites are in focus, like that. Okay, so that's all for this layer. You can go and disable that. Right, now what you want to do is go, I believe, onto the bottom layer and search for the plugin Camera Lens Blur, I believe, and set it to the first. Ah, right, there is my error. Right, so it doesn't go on this layer, it goes on the first world layer that you created, the one that has this white dot and the black background, and you're just going to paste that in there, and there you go. If you set that value to say 15, you'll notice the blur effect here in the background. Now what you can do is you can control it with the levels, as I said, so yeah, I can leave you guys to mess around with that, but that's basically how you get simple depth of field. Yeah, so that's more or less it for editing, to be honest. So we're now here and we want to record the cinematics for our clip. It's not really a difficult process, it's just like a couple more extra commands and some keys which you guys could use, which might help you. So what I'm going to do is just show you the keybinds which I've got, which allow you to do some cool things, I guess. So to actually get started, you're going to want to find your character, go to the point and double click the spacebar so you're in this sort of view. Now go into the console, and the first command that you're going to want to use is merv_input camera. This will allow you to free roam like so. Now the keybinds which I've got set are WASD to move, just move around, as well as use your mouse to look. And then the F and R button allows you to go up and down like so, and then X and Z allows you to rotate, which I think is probably the best feature on here, just adds that nice effect. You could also use 0 and the decimal/delete button on the numpad. We have the zoom feature, which is the page up and page down. You may not have to use the merv_FOV command because you can just keyframe the pan or zoom, I guess. Right, so now we're going to want to set keyframes. I think I'll start here. So first off, you're going to want to notate the tick number, so just write that down somewhere. I'm going to write it in my console, just like that, so I know where it is. So as you've loaded the cinematic config, it's going to have all the keybinds, and to actually enable the cam path, you're going to want to click the scroll button, just press it down once, and in the console it should say cam path added in caps like that. Now go back onto this and just resume the play, say it a little bit like that. And then what you're going to want to do now is just keep keyframing. Ooh, that was weird. Like so. Now at minimum, if you guys don't have 4 cam paths, the cinematic just won't load. So once you've got your 4 at least, what you can then do is input this command, so merv_cam path enable and 1. Now what you can do is just come out of all of this and press escape, and it will take you to this frozen bit here. So now this is actually enabled, you can go back to the tick where you started, so demo_go to tick, and whatever your tick was, so mine was 152. There we go. Okay, so we're here at the tick, so what you can do is just press resume, and you can see that it's got the cam path saved. Now this is just rough, I guess, so doesn't really matter. There's a special effect which you can use. All you have to do is input one command, and that is the time freeze. So whenever you're running through your cam path, all it does is it freezes the gameplay and just lets the camera do its work and run through. Now I've got a keybind set for that, and that is just B. So if you just press B whilst it's playing, like so, and what you'll see is that it just freezes like that. Now if you guys want to record multiple cinematics in the same game and you're worried that the cam path will just carry on, all you have to do is merv_cam path and then clear, and this will remove every keyframe that you've set throughout the game. So I should have one running now, and you can see that there's nothing on the screen and it doesn't take me back to where I put my first cam path. So yeah, that's basically it for recording CSGO cinematics, I guess. Now what you can do is just go into the console and set all the recording elements that you did from the first part of the video, and just carry on with the same process. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like and a comment down below. Also subscribe and use the Hellcase promo code so you guys can open some cases and hopefully get some nice skins. I'll see you probably soon.